The story begins in motion. The river swells with the power of the rainy season, a brown serpent of water cutting through the golden grasslands. A band of Australopithecus gathers at its edge, clutching sharpened stones, strips of bark woven into baskets, and long branches stripped bare. They are thin, wiry, and scarred by survival, their dark eyes fixed on the prize glittering beneath the muddy currents, fish glinting like liquid silver. But beneath that promise of food lurks something older, darker, and far more deadly: crocodiles the size of canoes, armored titans with jaws that could split bone as easily as snapping reeds. The clan inches forward, their leader wading waist-deep, testing the current with his branch. Their movements are tense, each step a gamble between nourishment and annihilation. A flash of scales, a ripple. Then chaos erupts. A colossal crocodile lunges from below, jaws exploding upward with prehistoric force. The river itself seems to open, swallowing the leader whole in a whirl of froth and blood. Panic splinters the group. Screeches echo across the savannah as they scatter to the banks, clutching children against their chests, pelting the beast with rocks. The monster thrashes, tearing water into waves, its armored back glistening in the pale sun. Survival is a storm, and every second counts. The clan's hunters regroup, circling like jackals around an elephant carcass, but their target is alive and furious. They jab their spears, crude but desperate, into the flanks of the leviathan. One misses and tumbles into the river, swept toward the beast's waiting maw. At the last moment, two females grab a vine, heaving the drowning hunter back to the bank. Breathless, the clan withdraws defeated. The river belongs to the crocodiles. Hunger gnaws at their bellies, sharper than the spear tips they carry. But terror has carved a boundary they cannot cross. Still, necessity is relentless. The rains pour down in sheets, turning the grassland into marshland, driving the clan closer to the rivers with each day. Thirst, starvation, and predators stalk them at every turn. At night, storms tear through the sky, lightning igniting the plains, and the giant reptiles lurk beneath the turbulent waters. Guardians of the life the humans desperately need, but fear to claim. Days pass, and tension fractures the unity of the band. Some urge migration across the plains toward safer ground, but that journey means crossing open savanna, where saber-toothed cats stalk. Others insist they must master the river, that only by confronting the crocodiles can they ensure survival. The air is thick with dread, but also with something new: resolve. One morning, as the mists rise above the water, the band prepares not to flee, but to fight. They craft a trap, sharpened stakes, planted near the shallows, smoke drifting from bundles of smoldering leaves to mask their scent, and stones piled for hurling. The stage is set, and the river waits silent and dark, hiding its armored kings beneath the surface. The morning breaks heavy with tension, the mist clinging to the reeds like the breath of ghosts. The Australopithecus clan moves with deliberate silence, their shadows etched against the glowing horizon. Small children are tucked into the arms of elders high on a hill, overlooking the river, while the hunters crouch near the water's edge, faces painted with mud to blur their scent and shape. The trap waits, stakes hidden like teeth beneath the shallow stones balanced in hands roughened by survival. The river looks calm, but calm is a lie. Beneath ancient jaws wait creatures that have ruled this place since long before man first struck stone against stone. The first ripple comes subtle as a whisper. A log-shaped shadow glides toward the shallow scales, reflecting the pale light. Then another, larger, with eyes that burn like gold lanterns just above the surface. The hunters tense their lungs held captive in their chests. When the crocodile lunges, it is like the earth itself rising a surge of muscle and armor. Water explodes as the beast thrashes forward, but this time it meets sharpened stakes. The clan drives the monster onto the trap, spears plunging downward in a flurry of desperation. Blood stains the water dark and spreading, yet, even wounded, the reptile thrashes with fury, its tail cracking against the bank, and sending hunters sprawling. One young male is struck and hurled onto the mud, his ribs collapsing under the impact. His cries echo across the savanna, a sound that blends fear with agony. The clan rallies their survival instincts, binding them together. Rocks rain down from above, pounding against the beast's armored head. Another spear drives into its eye, sinking deep until the water churns crimson. Finally, with a guttural hiss, the giant reptile sinks, disappearing into the depths it once ruled. The water falls silent. Victory fragile, but real. The hunters drag the carcass ashore, trembling with exhaustion. The prize is immense flesh, to feed the clan, hide for tools, bone for weapons. The children on the hill shriek with relief, their laughter cutting through the tension like sunlight through storm clouds. But triumph is short-lived. The river is not ruled by one king, but by many. From the depths, the water shifts again. More shadows stir massive bodies gliding beneath the surface, drawn by the blood of their fallen kin. The hunters freeze, realizing that killing one giant has awakened the wrath of others. A decision looms. To stand and fight again means certain death, but to flee means abandoning their hard-won prize. The storm above cracks open rain, slashing down like 1,000 spears, thunder echoing like drums of war. Hunger, fear, and pride collide in the hearts of the clan. Their unity begins to fracture, some scream to retreat. Others roar to hold the ground. This is no longer a battle against beasts alone. It is a battle for the soul of the tribe. Survival is not only teeth and claws, but the fragile thread of trust that binds them together. And that thread is beginning to tear. The storm rages with a fury that mirrors the turmoil within the clan. Rain lashes the hunters, blinding their eyes as the river roars, louder, swollen with wrath. The carcass of the fallen crocodile lies on the bank, blood, mixing with the storm water, a beacon to the monsters beneath. Then, from the depths, they come two colossal crocodiles, even larger than the first, rising like armored gods of the river. Their jaws gape wide, revealing cavernous maws lined with death. The clan explodes into frantic motion. Some drag children and elders toward the high ground, scrambling through mud that swallows their feet. Others clutch their spears and rocks, their eyes blazing with the fire of desperation. They cannot abandon the kill. It is too much food, too much hope. To leave it behind is to starve. With a roarless cry of unity, they stand their ground. The crocodiles surge forward, the river breaking into waves. One hunter, gaunt but fierce, hurls his spear straight into the open throat of the lead reptile. The beast convulses, but still it drives forward, jaws snapping shut on empty air just inches from his leg. Another hunter leaps, striking the second crocodile's flank with a sharpened stake. The clan fights not as scattered prey, but as a storm themselves, stones crashing spears, piercing bodies, pushing as one. The riverbank becomes a battlefield of mud and blood. The thunder above seems to applaud their defiance. Yet survival has its price. One elder, frail and stooped, stumbles into the water, swept beneath the churning current. Hands reach for him, but the river takes him before they can pull him back. The clan howls in grief, but their fury only deepens. In a final desperate strike, they drive the wounded beasts back into the current, forcing them to retreat with tails thrashing. The river reclaims them, leaving only swirling crimson foam behind. Silence descends, broken only by rain and the panting of the survivors. The clan collapses onto the mud bodies, trembling eyes wide, with the raw miracle of endurance. Around them, the storm begins to ease the clouds parting, to reveal a bruised but clearing sky. Slowly they carve meat from the fallen crocodile smoke, rising as they roast the flesh over damp firewood. The children watch their small hands clutching scraps of food. Their laughter hesitant at first, then blossoming. The clan mourns the elder they lost, but in his memory, they find unity. Together, they eat, together, they heal. For a fleeting moment, they are not prey to the river nor rulers of it, but survivors within its eternal flow. The crocodiles still rule the waters, but the humans have claimed something far greater, the will to endure, to stand together against giants. And in that will, the first sparks of myth are born, tales whispered in gestures and glances, stories carved in memory. The river remains dangerous, the crocodiles unchallenged kings of the depths. Yet the Australopithecus have marked their place at its edge, not as rulers, not as victims, but as a tribe that dared to fight the river gods and live.